Welcome to this lecture on Mastering Strategic Management, where we'll unpack the core ideas that guide vision, execution, global strategy, and analysis. Over the next slides, we'll move from high-level frameworks to practical decision models, showing how analytical tools and core principles come together to create competitive advantage and actionable plans you can use every day. This slide contrasts three phases of strategy: intended, emergent, and realized. Intended strategies are deliberate plans set by leadership. Emergent strategies grow from daily, adaptive decisions at the front line. And the realized strategy is the blend that actually shapes performance, requiring continuous sensing and recalibration to stay effective in changing markets. Strategy didn't begin in the boardroom. It evolved from battlefield roots to modern corporate practice. Over time, it migrated into management science, became formalized in the 1,960 seconds with structured planning, and today it's dynamic and iterative, embracing capabilities, culture, and learning to respond faster to complex business ecosystems. The classical approach gives us rigorous analysis, long-term planning, and top-down resource allocation, which bring clarity and stability. At the same time, it risks rigidity in volatile markets. So the smart play is to supplement classical discipline with flexible response, continuous learning, and dynamic allocation to balance stability with agility. Treat strategy like a portfolio of tested hypotheses rather than a fixed roadmap. Rapid experimentation lets you test assumptions, incremental learning refines models from real data, and flexible reallocation moves resources to what works, creating a validated set of initiatives that adapt as the market evolves, rather than a single rigid plan. The resource-based view shows how lasting advantage comes from unique, valuable, and hard-to-imitate assets bundled together. Focus on cultivating competencies, protecting intellectual capital, and building replication barriers so competitors can't copy you easily. This combination of uniqueness, value, rarity, and inimitability underpins sustainable competitive advantage. Competitive positioning starts with understanding industry structure, threats from entrants and substitutes, bargaining power of suppliers and buyers, and rivalry among rivals. From that analysis, firms choose generic strategies like cost leadership, differentiation, or focus, each offering a distinct path to profitability and value creation when aligned with industry dynamics. Dynamic capability is about sensing and seizing opportunity, detect weak signals and customer anomalies, anticipate technological inflection points, and convert timely sensing into strategic choices. Organizations that act quickly create option value, gaining preemptive advantage, strategic flexibility, and the potential for sustained growth before rivals recognize the opportunity. Seizing strategic opportunities depends on rapid resource mobilization, strategic partnerships, and agile project teams that can act fast. Success is driven by decision speed, availability of capital, and aligned incentives. And when these elements come together, they enable execution readiness, market responsiveness, and sustainable growth from the opportunities you identify. Long-term advantage requires continual reconfiguration of processes, structures, and culture. Embed learning into routines, deliberately retire obsolete practices to reduce complexity, and redeploy assets towards next-generation value creation so the organization can adapt to market shifts, new technologies, and changing regulations while maintaining momentum. Ambidextrous structures let firms exploit current strengths while exploring future businesses. Operational units drive efficiency and short-term profits. Innovation labs focus on experimentation and long-term growth, and integration mechanisms like senior team coordination and shared metrics ensure both sides feed into sustainable competitive advantage. In hyper-competitive arenas, advantages erode quickly, so firms face a continuous series of escalations in speed, quality, cost, and innovation. The antidote is relentless initiative and capability reinvention, which demands proactive adaptation and a culture that supports rapid shifts in priorities to stay ahead of continuously changing rivals and customer expectations. Environmental and social constraints can be reframed as innovation catalysts. Resource scarcity, regulation, and societal expectations force creative responses that lead to circular models and sustainable solutions. Embedding ESG into core processes mitigates risk, expands markets, builds reputational assets, attracts talent, and helps secure capital over the long term. Turning aspirations into action requires clear, cascading objectives, clarity of contribution, measurable KPIs, and transparent timelines. Vertical alignment ensures corporate goals translate into team priorities, while horizontal synchronization across finance, operations, marketing, sales, and R&D keeps daily work coordinated and focused on the strategic outcomes that matter. Robust governance and accountability mechanisms ensure alignment and continuous learning through regular review cycles, stage-gate funding, and exception-based dashboards. Effective governance maps initiatives to core objectives, supports dynamic resource reallocation, and institutionalizes lessons so the organization optimizes resources while capturing insights for future decisions. Strategy often fails where culture resists change, so bridging the gap means building shared values, psychological safety, and compelling storytelling. Those cultural enablers translate strategy into emotional commitment, unlocking discretionary effort and voluntary collaboration across silos, so people choose to act in ways that make strategy real and sustainable. Employee microstrategy aggregates organizational momentum by empowering people to scan the environment, prioritize high-impact tasks, and adapt in real time. When personal OKRs mirror corporate objectives and every job acts as a micro-strategy, cumulative individual actions drive collective success and accelerate the firm's strategic progress. Career resilience mirrors corporate dynamic capability. Sense obsolescence, identify skill gaps, seize learning opportunities, and transform your professional identity. Continuous reinvention safeguards employability and technological disruption, and the same principles individuals use to stay relevant also help firms maintain agility and long-term capability. A bespoke management system blends classical discipline, evolutionary agility, and human-centric design into a unique, context-dependent operating model. By combining structured foundations, continuous adaptation, and empathy-driven processes, organizations build a management system tailored to their strategy, culture, and changing environment. Think of strategic management as a living system, sensing market signals, seizing opportunities with rapid execution, and transforming through continuous renewal. Culture amplifies intent, and when people at every level co-create advantage, the firm perpetually renews its competitive edge and sustains momentum in a constantly changing world.